So I've caught up with Dave Ryding, a British alpine slalom skier. Hi Dave, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good. I just had a week off and now I'm already back in -5.
It's pretty cold out here.
Before I thought I'd be back in a ski hall, I'm back.
Yeah, it's actually freezing out here. Is it not as cold as in PyeonChang though?
No, that was a whole different level. But
and how do the athletes cope with that? Because I think in the news we saw a lot of this. Oh, the weather's freezing and it's really hard. I mean, genuinely, was it that cold? I mean, you're a skier, you're used to it.
I think I missed the actual worst of it, thankfully. But yeah, you always find a way. Put some more layers on, get your face mask on or whatever. But it's not always the most pleasant experience.
But we know that skiing and it was interesting that the Winter Olympics. One of the things in the news was the fact that it was freezing cold, and people expect it to be cold. But the reality is that it's not always like that, is it? And
no, it's funny for us because actually this winter was actually quite cold, but we raced in Alboden at the start of January and it was +12.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the warmest races for us was in January. So yeah, but we have to be ready for anything. It's outdoors. So
it's outdoors, but I think a lot of parents and a lot of maybe kids as well think, I'm going to be freezing cold when I go and learn to ski.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you just said, it can be any temperature. It can be 12 degrees in January. It doesn't have to be freezing. And when it is cold, it's probably a little bit unusual.
Yeah, I mean, I learned to ski on Pendle ski slope. So while it was sometimes horrible, it was the summer, so it was nice. But yeah, when you go away, if the sun's out, you don't feel a -5. It feels perfect. Yeah, it's obviously when it's windy and bad weather, then it feels a bit colder. But it's part of it. That's why you're in the mountains. It's you're outdoors, you're free, and it's a cool environment to be in.
And Pendle dry ski slope, that's where you started. Was that where you first put skis on? Your first ski experience?
It was. Yeah, it was with basically the goal was to go on a family ski holiday. And my parents said, you're not coming until you can ski. So I was at Pendle before you knew it.
Yeah.
And then obviously with racing on snow with Kandahar and progressed from there to the England team and snowballed on and yeah.
I know for any kids then getting into the sport, we've still, there's a lot of dry slopes all around the UK. And I think if you work it out, you're never more than really an hour away from any dry slope.
I'd be amazed if you were more than an hour away. And when I was young, we only had Tamworth, so I was never on the indoor snow. But now we've probably got 5 or 6 around Britain. Yeah. So it's getting easier and easier to get on snow. Never mind the dry slopes; they're always there. So
for any kid, that's getting into ski racing or getting into skiing on the dry slope and wants to progress to alpine skiing, they see a lot of freestyle skiing as well. You're an alpine skier, you go round slalom poles. It's a more, I suppose, traditional area of the sport, and there's a lot of other disciplines that kids can go into. But why would you recommend slalom skiing if you would?
Well, for me, that was the only option because at Pendle we just had it was a club, so it wasn't like open to everyone. It wasn't open to the public. You just had to join for a small fee, £20, and then it was £3 a session, and it was the race training was slalom. So just progressed into that, loved it. But now there's freestyle, snowboarding, you name it. There's so many more options that the kids are spoiled for choice. I'm just a product of slalom because that's what I did when I was young at Pendle. So.
Okay, so this next winter, I mean, obviously, famously podium place, a second place in Kitzbuhel, in the home of alpine ski racing, you could argue. What's next? I mean, what's
I was trying to go one better this year. Already had moments of, I won't say brilliance, but moments of very good skiing.
Yeah, fastest second run
in Kitzbuhel, fastest first run in Levy. Just couldn't get it in the same race this year. So it was a frustrating season because I was making way more mistakes that I'm sort of accustomed to making, but maybe I was just in a progression to getting that next level. But we'll see. I'll just back to the drawing board again and try and just improve myself, skiing and as a person. You're just learning all the time, and the better you are as a person, the more dedicated and whatever, the better you are on snow. So it's just all translates as one. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Well, we'll be looking out for you.
Thank you.
This next winter.
Cheers.
Dave. Thanks very much.
Thanks.